There's something in me that wants to spit every single shitty thing that's ever happened to me back out before it even has the chance to digest and become waste material. On a base level, I know that's not how alchemy works. You have to shed things to make way for new ones. The energy cast off transmutes and becomes something else. I ask myself why a lot, because if trauma is destined to become waste, why do I need it in the first place, and what good can possibly come from its remains? Someone told me early in undergrad that I was well on my way to an entire retrospective exhibition of work about women. And ironically, it turns out I'm not actually a woman, but that's a story for another time. I'd spat out the terrible relationship I was in for most of high school, a lifetime of being bullied for not conforming to dated standards of femininity. I'd found my way of obtaining closure when there were no other options than spitting these things out in some way that told the other side of the story. And the thing about closure is that it's kind of fake. Bodies hold grudges for far longer than brains. And trust me, I'm writing this on a heating pad that does the work of the Lord because my back muscles have been in constant spasm for the last 86 days. I don't like the fall, but when my brain races like it's done every night for as long as I can remember, that energy wants to go somewhere. I wrote my first chapbook in a series of pocket-sized leather notebooks behind the bar on Monday nights, tucking it into the crevice between butcher block and refrigerator when I got too busy to keep writing. Sometimes so worried I would lose thoughts in the mechanics of mixing cocktails that I would furiously scribble between drink orders if I had a good idea, repeating it in my head to the shaker beat until I could finally pen it. Ironically, it's usually winter. I am usually within 7 days of either having eaten shit on an icy brick sidewalk or being about to do so. Statistically speaking, if something bad is going to happen, it will happen between October 1st and April 30th. Cold seasons should not comfort me as they do, but I'm a slut for a good sanctuary, and it feels so much more sacred when it's also freezing. My best winters were spent in dark rooms, print labs, studios, back bars, and bedroom burrows, toiling away at rapidly advancing alchemy. Everything I threw onto the page was waste energy bubbling in sketchbooks that became a part of myself I shed and picked back up as a tattoo or a piece of jewelry, or sometimes both, once the energy had moved on and transmuted. And so much of that was what I was seeing or what I was thinking without any particular parameters. There's a quote from this show my partner loves that I just watched for the first time last winter. The guy says that writing is very seldom actually writing, implying that it's comprised of the entire process of making the work. It reminds me that I'm making just as much when I'm sobbing to Fall Out Boy at 3 a.m, when I'm driving north and feeling particularly taken with the clouds or the light or the flowers on the roadside. It reminds me how many times my best work has come from instinct. It reminds me that everything leads somewhere, even if it doesn't look anything like how it started anymore at the end.